Rockers around the world, welcome to another MPJ new album review show, Battle of the New Albums, and welcome to my crew, Paul, Trish and Chris. Rock on! And apologies. So apologies. Chris has a slight internet delay, but he's a bit delayed anyway. And apologies from our other crew member Dave, who has sent his vote in, but he's not well today and can't join us. So get well, Dave. Get well soon, Dave. Okay. So who do we have in the Battle of the Bands here in our Battle of New Albums? Today's show. We have two rocking bands. The first one is New Roses and their new album, which is Sweet Poison, and StreetLore and the aptly named album StreetLore. And why not? And why not? Lots of other bands have done it in the past. Why can't StreetLore do it? Let's find out, shall we? So, in the red corner, we have New Poison. In the blue corner, we have StreetLore. So, New Roses. Let's start with New Roses then, people. New Roses. I like this, right, from Wikipedia. In brackets, stylized as New Roses, but in capitals. Okay? Fine, whatever. I mean, that's really rock and roll. Is a rock band from Wiesbaden in Germany. And New Roses was founded in 2007 by singer Tommy Ruff and drummer Urban Burse, and officially took the name The New Roses, in commas, in 2012. The band was completed in 2012 with Stefan Kastner, bass player, and Dizzy Presley. Great name, Dizzy Presley. Guitar. By this time, the New Roses had already opened for ZZ Top, Blackstone Cherry, Joe Bonamassa. Oh yes, little smile coming on. It should come on his face in a minute. Die Totenhausen, Blackfoot, Kiss, Roger Chapman, and in 2010 the band toured as a special guest for US Southern rockers Molly Hatchet on their Justice World Tour in Germany and Switzerland. So, New Roses. Paul, let's start with you then. Tell us a little bit about your research on New Roses and what you thought of Sweet Poison. Was it sweet or was it just simply poison?
It was both. Nothing much more than what you've already pointed out. They're a country-infused stadium rock band. In other words, there's more than a passing sound to bands like Bon Jovi and Co. To their credit, they have upcoming slots with Judas Priest, Foreigner and Kiss, if some of those haven't already happened, and were well received at the Hard Rock Festival in Wales a couple of years ago. While songs like War Paint painted the New Roses firmly in the hard rock genre, it's not until Usual Suspects does the album really kick off. There are just too many songs firmly stuck in the 80s comparison bracket. This makes Sweet Poison a very swingy album, and I wasn't really sold on the ballads. If the New Roses concentrate on their hard rock songs, though, then I believe they'll become a tour de force.
Tour de force. Well, you likened them to Bon Jovi, and we know Chris loves a little bit of Bon Jovi. So, Chris, how was Sweet Poison for you, mate?
As with a lot of albums we've reviewed this month, it is firmly in the 80s. For me, Sweet Poison reminded me of Kiss era kind of stadium rock. I also wasn't particularly sold on the ballads, but I found it melodic. It was okay. It was kind of background rock. Passable album. On my first listen, it almost got the Panther Award, but I don't think it will deserve it for a long-term thing.
A Panther Award? What do you mean by that?
It means I was going to dust off my Black Panther to ride naked across the desert on it.
Your Panther Award, right? I thought you said your Panther Award. I misheard you, so internet connection there. Okay. Wow. Almost all. So, for those who don't
there
we go. There we have it. There we have the Panther Award with the wind
take it off, Paul. Doesn't deserve it.
Didn't deserve that. Wow, I know, but almost Almost. That's not bad going for you.
Almost.
Trish, did you want to, get astride your Black Panther and go for a little ride?
Don't know how to answer that. So swiftly moving on. As soon as the first song started, I was like, this is my kind of rock, as you can probably guess. I think maybe because you can feel the rock roughness in the lead singer's voice. He reminded me of the Choir Boys lead singer. You can feel the work and the passion in their voice, rather than the vocals being too polished with Rob Marathi and satin. It had a good opener with My Kind of Crazy. There's a mix of fun and energy in this album, but obviously a rock album isn't complete without a rock ballad like True Love, with the vocals on that akin to the band Extreme. This is my kind of fun rock album. It's cool, fun, and filled with headbangers.
Yeah, it's interesting. For those who, obviously, Trish mentioned Rob Marathi and Satin because we've just reviewed those on another show. Go and check out our YouTube channel and you can find out what we thought about those guys as well. So, this was much better than average. I think for me, very similar, I think, Chris. The start was, Black Panther time. But, I mean, on second and third listens, it did get very Bon Jovi-esque, a lot. And I love Bon Jovi, and I think that I think this is a really good, solid album. It definitely brought something a little bit fresher than just being stuck in the 80s. They obviously did try and bring that freshness to it, and it was a thoroughly enjoyable rock album. But it has a ceiling because it didn't really bring anything new to the genre, or it didn't bring anything cutting or edgy. It was just a really good, I mean, probably at the top level of that sort of 80s style kind of music or album of that genre in the modern world, because in the modern world you have a lot of rock bands who are bringing something new and fresh. But for some reason, it was thoroughly enjoyable. I really enjoyed Warpaint. I just enjoyed Warpaint. I thought it was a really good kind of, a bit of a cheeky kind of song, and I really liked it. But yeah, I think it was pretty damn solid, and I actually did thoroughly enjoy it. It didn't stay up there from that initial listen, but yeah, it's good, very good. Okay, so, a bit more positivity here. We've got some positive vibes on the show. Let's go to the red corner and let's see who they're up against. And they are up against a band called StreetLore. StreetLore, the Art of Melody Music and Burning Minds music group, are excited to announce the details of StreetLore, a brand new melodic project with great special guests hailing from Italy. After spending years playing in some local bands in north of Italy, keyboardist Lorenzo Lorock Navar approached his longtime friend, Burning Minds music group's A&R producer Pierpaolo Zorro Monti. You gotta love the names, guys. We're loving the names. So from Rayanti's Shining Light, Room Experience, LFOR, Charming Grace, with a proposal of some unreleased material written through the years. Excited by what he heard, Zorro offered his support in making an all-new melodic rock album, The Art of Melody Music's Alessandro Broggi, Airbound, signed on as co-producer while directing Lorenzo on keyboards. As you can see, there's no information other than I've dug this up from somewhere on the internet about StreetLore. So, brand new.
Before we go too far, can we actually just have a podcast of you trying to pronounce people's names?
I don't spell it.
It would be awesome.
Well, I'd like to
tune into that all the time.
So, listen, we have got, Lorock and Zorro.
I'm just grateful I'm not murdering the names for once.
Yeah, I know, right? So, so Lorock and Zorro, basically, I mean, we should have the Black Panther up here because it does sound like some sort of, adventure here.
No, hate yourself. Lorock and Zorro actually just sounds like some dodgy 80s cartoon or a buddy cop movie. I'm not sure which.
Well, So they're brand new. They're a
Tune
brand
in
new.
to the adventures of Law Rock
Who
and Zorro.
knows? Who knows? So look, Chris, let's start with you then, mate. This is a brand new band. Their first album, obviously, or well, I believe it to be their first album. And so aptly named StreetLore. What do you think?
I know that my reputation precedes me in these podcasts, and that I'm known for overwhelming negativity, and I just can't disappoint you. The thing that struck me more than anything else is I am absolutely convinced that they were playing a guitar throughout the whole thing, which, why? I mean, I'm actually surprised you can even find a guitar nowadays. Aside from the guitar being really annoying, so were the vocals. The vocals were super annoying. The lyrics were just absolute pap. And to me, it sounded like an entire album of the same riff. So, not a fan.
Ooh. But mate, they've been dusting off this material they've been working on in northern Italy from the Alps. Paul, was it worth them coming down from the mountains in northern Italy and the lakes to do this album?
Well, the fact that they've hired other studio musicians to do music and 12 different singers to guest on their songs, it's the poor singers I worry about having to traipse up to the Alps and back. Again, it's another album that's firmly in the American-oriented rock genre. And you'll love it or hate it. Unfortunately, having listened to Tom Satin and Rob Moriarty this week, I didn't find this a stellar offering. And as far as originality goes, it's very much in the shadows of the New Roses. So it wasn't a good recommend from me.
Trish, will be some comfort here on the streets of the law with I mean, now that you've heard the name Zorro is involved, surely.
Well, yeah, I mean, God. I found this album had a touch of power metal in the guitars on the first track, Brothers. The majority of the album is very similar in sound, with the vocals reminding me of the Scorpions. From the first track, I was expecting something more and spectacular to grab me, but it didn't. That being said, it's not a bad album. It just didn't hit my sweet spot as much as I'd hoped.
Me and Paul are going like, Scorpions? Scorpions? How dare you put them in the same bracket as the Scorpions, woman?
Yeah, I was looking for my Black Panther, to be honest.
You what? Sorry, Trish?
I was just saying that the vocals reminded me of the Scorpions.
Wow. I mean, you are treading here on hallowed ground here. Hallowed ground, woman, when it comes to Scorpions. I mean, Paul. Hallowed, sacred ground.
I like the Scorpions.
I know. And this is nowhere near... Anyway, okay. The problem with StreetLore is I was firmly really rooted in the middle. I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it. And I think it just was so generic that some of it was fairly enjoyable, some of it was just a really bit naff. I'd go with Chris, some of it was just naff. Other times you're thinking, yeah, there's potential there. I mean, this is their first album, so there is definitely potential there. But, you know, what I'm going to say to these people, if they ever listen to this podcast, which is highly unlikely, though people do, and recently where I had to take one down because... we missed a joke. Apparently, I'll tell you about this. We were asked to take a podcast down because we missed the whole joke about what he was saying about himself. Anyway, the thing is with this, guys, with StreetLore, if you do listen to this, and well done for making your first album, and it's a good effort. It's well produced. You know, there's good. The sound quality's good. Everything's good. There's some really good riffs in there. There are some good stuff in there, but. You know, you're competing, as we've just discovered on this month's shows. You know, your likes of Satin and Street and New Roses and stuff. This sort of music is just jam packed. There are so many bands competing in this sort of AOR arena that you've got to be really special. You've got to really stand out, and you've got to add something. You've got to bring something to the party, and I think that this album was okay. I mean, there were some good bits in there. There were some average bits in there. It was okay, and it was a solid effort for your first album. But I would recommend that you try and bring something a little bit fresher to the genre if you're going to kind of build on that one as well. So okay. Well, it's time for the showdown. I think StreetLore are going to struggle.
Can I just add, Nigel?
Yeah.
I do worry for them because on Spotify it says the number of plays, and it's got a number of plays like 2,000 and 1,000 odd up to song 5, and after that, nothing. It's as if people have got that far and just given up.
Yeah, but they might have only just released. They might have only just released the album, bruv. So it might have been, yeah. But no, I mean, point well taken. Yeah, point well taken. But that's because a lot of the stuff will have, a lot of these people pre-release like a few tracks off the record. So and a lot of those would have been pre-releases from the album as tasters, if you like, of what's to come. So and yeah, you may be right. Maybe people like when I've listened to the tasters, I don't want to listen to the rest of the album. Who knows? So okay, so let's find out our votes then. So Chris. What did you give the New Roses?
3.
3. That's pretty solid, mate. That's solid. And StreetLore?
1.
1. Okay, Paul. New Roses?
3.
3. Okay, and StreetLore?
1.5.
Trish?
I gave New Roses 4. And StreetLore 2.5.
2.5. Well, it's at the minute, would it carry on being a whitewash for New Roses? Yes, it will. Dave actually really liked the New Roses. 3.5 from Dave for New Roses, and a 2 for StreetLore. And I give New Roses a 3.5. And I give StreetLore a 2.5. So a whitewash, a resounding 5-0 in favour of the New Roses. So New Roses, congratulations, you win this particular album. However, where did you situate in the grand scheme of our overall Hall of Fame and our top albums? Let's go and work that out. So got to get 20 to get in the Hall of Fame, and you've got to get 19.5 to get top 20, and you've got to get 18, top 30, and so forth. So, New Roses, so 7.5, 10.5, 11, 14, 17 for the New Roses. Congratulations, New Roses. That makes you into our top 50 of all-time albums. So we've reviewed something about 150. So that's pretty solid going. StreetLore. So 5, 6.5, 8.5, and 9.5 didn't make our top 100. I think could do better is our amateur voting, because we only vote based on how much we enjoyed the album. So there we go. So congratulations to Roses. Thank you very much for joining me and my crew today. And please like and subscribe our channel. More the merrier, and it really helps us kind of get our voices out there, and it's just our voices. Thank you to Paul, to Trish, and to Chris.
Thank you.
And thank you for Dave. Get better soon, buddy. And join us again. And thank you very much, and goodbye.